Hey everyone, today's lesson we're going to be looking at three chords: the A minor, which is this one, the D minor chord, and F major. So starting with the A minor chord, you're going to place your first finger on the B string on the first fret. Then your second finger goes up to the D string, which is on the second fret. And then your third finger goes underneath that on the G, which is also on the second fret. When you strum this chord, avoid the top string. Okay, this is the E string here, avoid that one, and only play the bottom 5 strings. So that's your A minor chord. To play D minor, take away these two fingers. Now move your first finger down a string. You're still on the first fret though. Your second finger is going to go here. This is the G on the second fret. And then your third finger is going to stretch out to the third fret on the B string. So some people might find this a little bit awkward to begin with. So just check to make sure that your thumb is sitting roughly in the middle like that. If your thumb is sitting on the side, that's where you'll probably come into some issues about trying to reach over with your third finger. So just try moving your thumb around until your fingers kind of straighten up a bit more, and then you can comfortably grab that fret there. Okay, so that's your D minor chord. You're going to skip the top 2 strings and only play the bottom 4. So coming back to your A minor, this is it here. Your starting point will be here, first fret on the B string. And then for D minor, move this finger down, that's your starting point. And then here for your second finger, and then on the third fret with your third finger. And that's D minor. The last chord is F major. This is actually a simplified version of a F bar chord. So a bar chord is something for a different lesson. So we're going to be looking at this chord, but still a lot of people find this quite challenging. What you need to do for the F major chord is you need to press down on the first fret of the E and B string with your first finger. So that is pressing on 2 strings at the same time. Because everyone's hands are different shaped, some people will probably be pressing down using the pad of your finger, but for me, I'm actually pressing down a little bit on the side of my finger. That's just the way it feels comfortable for me, so feel free to try and explore different ways for you to play that chord. Also for me, my finger goes a little bit on the side like that. Okay, so once you're pressing down on those 2 strings, your second finger is going on the second fret on G, and then your third finger is going on the third fret of the D string, like that. So this finger here, in the camera it kind of looks like I'm only pressing on the B string, but I can actually feel that I'm pressing on both the B and E string, which is why my finger kind of goes in on an angle like that. It's probably the only comfortable way that I can find for myself that's easy to play. And on the back, my thumb is sitting in the middle of the fret. So for this chord, you don't play the top 2 strings. Avoid those 2 and only play from that one down. Another thing to watch out for is your F chord looks very similar to a C major chord. So key differences is that the C major chord actually starts up here. Okay, that's where a C major chord has the third finger, but for your F major it's actually lower, 1 string lower for these 2. Also with your C major, your first finger is only playing that B string, but for F you're going to be playing both the B and E string. So as long as you remember that, press down on those 2 for your F major. This is quite a challenging chord for some people, so make sure you're patient with yourself when you're practicing this. Try mixing and matching some of your chords. For example, changing from F to C might be a good way to practice them because they're very similar. You just have to remember which string they start on, and also either pressing down on 2 strings or just the one, depending on what chord you're playing. Cool, so the 3 chords we looked at today: A minor, D minor, and F major. Just a couple of questions that I've been asked over the years. What's the difference between a major and a minor chord? Key difference, if we're talking about sound, a major chord sounds happy and a minor chord sounds sad. That's the best way that you can recognize the difference between a major and a minor chord. And if you've already practiced your A, E, D, G, E minor, C, A minor, D minor, and F chords, you can compare them. So E major has a happy sound and E minor has a sad sound. That's the easiest way to remember between them. So practice the 3 chords we looked at today, and if you've been looking at the last 3 lessons, then you should have a total of 9 chords. Make sure you practice each chord by strumming them 8 times and then switching to your next chord. And then if you feel like you've learned all 9 of them and feel really confident with them, try jumbling them up, mix them up in a different order, and change between them in any order that you like. Strum each chord 8 times, and wherever possible, try and keep that strumming hand going. So if I'm changing chords, I want to keep my strumming hand going the whole time.